Have you ever felt that little bit of panic when you're traveling and trying to understand fast English? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to do a really practical listening workout, one that's designed to build up your skills and, most importantly, your confidence for that next big trip. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with some common listening challenges and get warmed up with key vocabulary. Then we'll dive straight into two real-world listening exercises, one on a bus and another at an airport. And we'll wrap it all up with some seriously powerful takeaways to help you sharpen your skills for good. I think we've all been there, right? You know the grammar, you've memorized the vocabulary, but then you're standing in a busy, noisy train station and it all just feels a little overwhelming. So our goal today is super simple. Let's move past the textbook stuff and start building that real-world listening confidence. All right, first up, our listening challenge. Let's start by getting our heads in the game, thinking about what we're actually likely to hear. You know, when you're traveling, a lot of the conversations you overhear are about unexpected problems or sudden changes in plans. And just like any good workout, you gotta warm up first. When it comes to listening, that means getting the key vocabulary active and ready in your brain. When these words are already fresh in your mind, you are so much more likely to catch them, even in a really fast conversation. So let's look at some of these classic travel headaches. You might hear about a ferry crossing being canceled, or maybe a car getting a flat tire, or the classic, the driver got lost. I mean, who hasn't worried about running out of petrol, missing your stop, or that heart-stopping moment you can't find your tickets? Just recognizing these phrases is a huge first step. Now here is a fantastic piece of B2 vocabulary, especially for explaining why something went wrong. The phrase owing to. It's basically a more formal way of saying because of. So for example, the crossing was canceled owing to bad weather. You'll hear this a lot in official announcements, so it is a really powerful one to have in your back pocket. All right, warm-up is over. Time for the main workout. We're going to listen to a short conversation, and your only job on this first listen is to get the big picture. Just what's the general situation here? And hey, don't worry about understanding every single word. Seriously, just focus on the main idea. Where are these people? Ready? Let's listen. Okay, what did you catch? We know for sure they're talking about a party, but where is this conversation taking place? A taxi? A bus? A car? What was the one clue that gives away the real answer? Here it is. This is the sentence that just unlocks the whole thing. The man says, "I've missed my stop." That single phrase tells us exactly where they are. And this is a perfect example of a core listening skill, learning to separate the real clue from the distractor. All that conversation about the party, that's the distractor. It's just noise. The real clues, missed my stop and get off at the next stop, point you directly to being on a bus. Nicely done. Okay, let's take that skill and level up a bit. We're going to apply it to a more complex and probably noisier scenario. We're moving from the bus to a busy airport, but the strategy is exactly the same. Ignore the noise and hunt for those keywords. You ready for round two? Okay, this time we're at an airport. Your mission is to figure out precisely what the man is doing. Let's give it a listen. All right, so what's your call? All three of these things happen at an airport for sure, but they're very different activities. Which specific action did you hear the clues for in that conversation? You know, the biggest clues were right there at the start, hiding in plain sight. The agent asks two key questions. Where are you traveling to and how many bags do you have? Those are the absolute classic questions you really only hear when you're checking in. And here's another huge clue, and it's a great piece of B2 vocabulary: hand luggage. In American English, you'll probably hear carry-on luggage more often. It just means that small bag you're allowed to take with you onto the plane. Hearing that word is a massive hint. So let's build the case, like a detective. We heard questions about his destination and his bags. We heard him putting his bag on the scale. We heard the agent ask for his ticket and passport. And then, the final piece of evidence, he asks for a window seat. You put all of that together, and there is only one possible conclusion. He is checking in for his flight. Fantastic work. Okay, now it's time for our cool down. This is where we lock in everything we've learned and turn this practice into a simple strategy you can use absolutely anywhere. It all really comes down to this simple three-step method. Number one, identify the context. Ask yourself, where are they? Number two, listen specifically for keywords that match that context. And number three, which can be the hardest part, You have to actively ignore the distractors, all that extra information that doesn't actually help you find the answer. And just like that, you've completed the workout. Remember, practicing like this isn't just about learning words. It's about training your brain to listen strategically. You're building the skills to become a much more effective and much more confident listener, no matter what the situation is. So, before you go, I want you to think about this. Which travel situation makes you the most nervous when it comes to listening? Is it ordering food in a busy cafe? Asking for directions? Because identifying your biggest challenge, that's always the first step to mastering it. Thanks for joining me today and keep practicing.